All right, good morning, traders. Today is June 13th, 2024. Thank you for being here. My SPY pivot this morning doesn't remain. It's moved to 540.67. Above it, I'm a bull. Below it, I'm a bear. SPY closed with a 2-hour uptrend and a 10-minute downtrend. SPY QQQ made new all-time highs. FNGU made a new 2-year high. IWM found an uptrend, while Diamond Dow remains in a downtrend. Diamond Dow made a higher high and a higher low, closing under a bearish trap under the 17 EMA. IWM made a higher high also and a higher low, closing over the bearish trap and over the 17 EMA. Hey, good morning, Julie Gilbert and Lenny G. All right, so what do we got here? Silver and gold still, remain in downtrends, made higher highs and higher lows yesterday, closing inside bearish traps under the 17 EMA. USO in a downtrend, still made a higher high and a higher low, closing above a bullish trap over the 17 EMA. USO trying to fight off that downtrend. Finally, maybe it can do it this time. UNG still in an uptrend, made a lower high and a lower low, closing over the bullish trap again over the 17 EMA. US dollar index now in an uptrend, but let me just say, yesterday had a sharp pullback to the 200 SMA and then got a V-bottom bounce right off of it. So it closed near the 104.70 area. All right, let's go take a look at some charts so we can see what all that means. All right. So first chart, let's start this off. Let's just pull up SPY first. Okay, SPY, here's the Andrews pitchfork. Here's SPY. Here's the candle we made. We had CPI come out yesterday. And then, of course, FOMC made a statement. And then they had a little presser afterwards. Okay, so SPY got like a pretty good sized doji candle right there. Okay, so we got higher low, higher high, closing over the bullish trap over the 17 EMA. All right, so let's go take a look at 2-hour chart. Okay, 2-hour chart, you can see the yellow 3 EMA and price action up over the white, so that's 2-hour uptrend. So we have a 2-hour uptrend. 10-minute chart. Well, we closed the day with a 10-minute downtrend. In the pre-market, we have ourselves a 10-minute uptrend. Okay, most of the day was consolidating until, I got to tell you, till 3 o'clock. And then everything just went haywire after 3 o'clock. Now, FOMC made their thing at 2. And then at 2:30 they had a little presser. But I got to tell you, that was pretty mild price action then. And then all of a sudden things just got wild and whippy right there before going into the close. So, again, today's pivot right about just underneath. See the body of those candles, 540.67. Below that, I say we're filling gap, most likely, or probably coming to this 537.85 number. All right, so below that, I'm a bear. Above that, I'm a bull. Here is the all-time high anchored VWAP. All right, so I know this is an all-time high yesterday, okay? This is the prior all-time high anchored VWAP right there. So you can see it's also just over the 540.67 number, all right? So I planted that all-time high anchored VWAP on that candle on the 11th, because yesterday was the 12th, okay? And we made a new all-time high on the 11th, okay? So I planted on that high of day candle on the 10-minute chart right there. You can see right where I planted it. So that is the all-time high anchored VWAP line right there. So I like to stay over that, okay? So if I'm over that, I got to believe money's still getting pumped into the market. So as long as price stays above that number, all right, I'm looking for green erases red entries, okay? So we kind of had just a melting after hitting the highs of yesterday morning. So as long as we stay over this, I'm still bullish, all right? Over this, I'm bullish. Money's getting pumped in. I'm looking for green erases red entry. So there's a big red entry right there. If green was to wipe that out, I would say that would be a buy for me. That would be an entry to the upside. So now it's been tested once, and this will be twice. Once, twice, okay? So, and then the bottom here has been tested once, twice. So there's a possibility today that we remain inside of a chop zone somewhere. Let me edit this, crank it up. Somewhere between there, all right, and there. Okay, so we got a double top here. 1, 2, and then we got a double bottom here. 1, 2. We actually probably even got a triple bottom right there. Okay, so there's a chance we would chop around in this all morning long until they finally break out. Just saying that that's a possibility that we just chop back and forth inside of here. Only because we've got a double top here and a double bottom here. Now if we break out, of course, that would be green erasing red. That would be an entry to buy the breakout. All right, so money's still getting pumped into the market here. I'm telling you, I really think that based on, market buying up this big dip down, not a big dip, this shallow dip here, it's going to want like a 2-for-1 risk reward. And that brings us up to about 548. So if you take 2 units of this, all right, and stack them on top, that would be up here, 548, 550. So take 2 of these units, 1 risk unit, 2 reward units, right? That's how we trade. So they're going to want the same thing, right? So 1 risk unit, 2 reward units puts them up to around 548, 550. So it may be a while before we get there. We're nearing the top of the Andrews pitchfork right there. You can see us banging into the top up there. I don't know why this thing changes on my platform. I mean, it'll be out here one day at one time. If I zoom in or if I zoom out, it's down here. It's just, see how it changes? Like, what's going on? Anyways, irregardless, okay, so here we are. Probably going to chop in between the two lines here, okay? You got the double bottom from yesterday and the double top. So, excuse me, I'm expecting just a chop in through there. So there's the marching orders, all right? Green wipes out red. That's an entry, all right? And if we break below this, I want to see red wipe out green, and that's an entry underneath this area right here, underneath the pivot. That's 540.67. All right, enough about SPY. Let's go take a look at QQQ. All right, QQQ on the daily, okay? Brand new all-time high. And looks like they're setting off another new high this morning in the pre-market. Look at that. Okay, so new all-time high for QQQ. All right, bullish close, still in an uptrend. As by the way, SPY still in an uptrend. All right, it's in a 2-hour uptrend and a daily uptrend. QQQ in an uptrend. Higher low, higher high, closing over the bullish trap over the 17 EMA. Okay, FNGU. Okay, not a new all-time high, but another new 2-year high right here. All right, higher low, higher high, closing over the bullish trap, over the 17 EMA. You know what I like to see on these big candles? Follow through. So that's what I like. I like to see that. That's a good sign. See, there's FNGU gapping up this morning, making another new 2-year high, closing, starting off over the bullish trap over the 17 EMA. So another new 2-year high coming this morning for FNGU. All right, so that's a nice thing to see. Okay, IWM. Now, IWM, really we got a downtrend line, but we broke this pivot high right here as we came down, pulled back up. It's kind of a flaky uptrend, but it did break that high. So I guess technically it's in an uptrend, still underneath the downtrend line. Okay, I really prefer to see it break out over this high right here. All right, we got close to it, but no cigar right there. Okay, but technically it's in an uptrend. Today's price action was finally got a turnaround here on IWM. Okay, was a higher high and a higher low, closing over bearish trap, still a bearish trap, even with all of that, and over the 17 EMA. There's IWM, that's small caps and mid caps. And we need these to start moving up as well, not just the 9 stocks in the FNGU. We need small caps and mid caps to move up. And there is some good news out of this, okay? Because you got a higher low here, you got a higher low here. I don't know, maybe another higher low there. Let's just kind of string it together here. Okay, so maybe a trend, maybe a wedge, right? Maybe a trend, maybe a wedge going on here. Okay, remember this is about it's not going to move probably as smooth as the QQQ, because I mean what do they got? I think it's the Russell 2000. So I mean they got 2000 securities in there, unlike the Nasdaq 100, okay, or the S&P 500. So it's going to get a little bit more. It's not going to move as smooth as the others, okay? So this would probably be one of those indices, and I just came up with this just now, that would probably be better served if you watched it on a 3-day chart. And see how things kind of smooth out if you put the 3-day chart on. Because it's got so many securities, might be better to use a 3-day chart on IWM because of so many securities inside there. Just saying, it's an idea. You do what you want to do, but I'm just saying it might be better to use the 3-day chart because of so many securities on there. Just an idea. Think about it. All right, so here's Diamond Dow. Back to the daily. All right, Diamond Dow still in a downtrend. Now Diamond Dow's in an uptrend. I was using this high here, but we had a pullback and then a pop up. So, excuse me, traders. I'm going to call it. This is an uptrend. Diamond Dow making a higher high right here. Okay, taking out that high. Right there, there's a pullback low. So Diamond Dow in an uptrend. All right, so I changed my mind. I can do that. All right, so Diamond Dow in an uptrend, but very flaky uptrend. Again, got a higher high and a higher low, but closing under the bearish trap underneath the 17 EMA. Okay, they did take out this high right here on this pullback. So Diamond Dow in an uptrend. So there's a misprint there, or I just changed my mind. Whatever. All right. So there's Diamond Dow. Let's take a look at our technicals. T2122. We opened up. Okay. It wasn't like the bulls threw us out of the sell zone. We just happened to open up in the buy zone, and you can see we melted down. And it was talking about probably the 7,000 or 8,000 stocks inside the NYSE. All right, just melted down all day to the midpoint. All right, T2123. You can see rough day on T2123. We didn't even fill the prior day's gap. Okay, still a whole lot of weakness going on. T2123. You can see we popped up. We didn't trade lower than yesterday, We actually made a higher high and a higher low, but we sure didn't even fill the gap. All right, it is a move in the right direction, but it doesn't look like we're going to get a V-bottom bounce based on the fact that we couldn't even fill the prior day's gap down, because we got a little gap right here from that day's close, and you can see if we drag it across, they needed to fill this whole box. They failed to fill the box. Okay, so, and here we are with a 1, 2, 3 triple bottom here, showing an inverse head and shoulders, because that would be the head, left shoulder, right shoulder. We'll see what happens, all right? Still trapped underneath this falling 200 SMA, all right, T2123. Just having a really rough half year. All right, I don't know if earnings are affected or it's economic conditions or what's going on, but small caps and mid caps just having a tough time. I got to give it to them. They did make some new all-time highs. Okay, right there was some new all-time highs. And they got back up and they almost tried to retest those prior highs. Right there. Okay, they couldn't quite make it. They were on their way, they were looking good, and then they melted back to the midpoint. Okay, so looking like here's a U bottom. Looking like another U bottom's probably going to happen here at this level. Hopefully the midpoint will hold. We'll see. All right, T21 3 bar. Another 3 red candles, again closing underneath the 200 SMA. And if the point of interest was the 200 SMA, all right, you can see the rubber band candle still not broken. All right, so we'll see what happens. I don't really see good things happening for T2123 if they break this rubber band candle, which would be with the point of interest being the 200 SMA, rising 200 SMA. Okay, so there's T2123. FNGU, all right, so you can see here's price action for FNGU, kind of gap up, and they just kind of bullied up in the morning and then consolidated, then a little bit more bullying up in the afternoon. And in the late afternoon, things got wild and whippy. What candle is that? That's 3:30. That's 3:30. Then we had some pullback to VWAP again. Nice thing in the pre-market, they gapped up over. Looks like they traded up over this. See this consolidation, and they moved up, consolidated into the close. So somebody must have had some good earnings here in FNGU, because that's a post-market move up and then consolidate bullish. And then here we are in the morning doing the same thing. Move up, consolidate bullish. So FNGU really getting it done. So you got 9 stocks in the FNGU. Really there's 10, but Snowflake hasn't been a performer yet. Maybe it's coming. All right, so FNGU, you got 9 stocks kind of carrying the whole market, the indices higher right there with FNGU. All right, let's go back and take a look at a few sectors, okay? Actually, let's look at energy, USO. Okay, USO, as soon as it takes out this high, we'll be in an uptrend. All right, right now, still in a downtrend. Yesterday's price action, higher high, higher low, closing over the bullish trap over the 17 EMA. Still in a downtrend till it fights that off. Do have an uptrend line, and it's possible they pull back to that and then start to wedge up and make a U bottom or a V bottom from this point here. We'll see what happens. USO. Let's take a look at UNG. UNG's in an uptrend, making higher lows, higher highs. You can see UNG, yesterday's price action, lower high, lower low, closing over the bullish trap, over the 17 EMA. Silver and gold, still in downtrends. Okay? Silver and gold, lower high, lower lows, downtrend, gold doing the same thing. All right, price action for silver yesterday, higher high, higher low as compared to the day before. Okay, closing inside the bearish trap. Okay, they didn't close up here, they closed down here, inside the bearish trap, underneath the 17 EMA. Gold's doing the same thing. Gold still in a downtrend, lower high, lower low, making a downtrend. To yesterday's price action, higher high, higher low. All right, but still closing inside the bearish trap. So they gapped up, traded down. Okay, closed inside the bearish trap under the 17 EMA. So there's silver and gold, there's energy. Take a look at a few sectors, SMH. All right, there's SMH putting in brand new all-time highs yesterday and this morning. Let's take a look at XLK. XLK doing the same thing as FNGU. Again, brand new all-time highs yesterday and this morning. Higher high, higher low, closing over the bullish trap, over the 17 EMA. So there's XLK. And then here comes the disappointment. Okay, so here's IYT. IYT's got to take out this hill right there. Okay, right up there. IYT's got to take out 66.87 to get into an uptrend. Either that or start producing a higher low and then make a higher high. Okay, so there's IYT. Here is the downtrend line. Okay, you can see we spiked it yesterday. Nice move. Got to give them credit for that. They have been moving up since the 28th. So they've been grinding up all through the month of June. All right, so that's good. But they've been in a downtrend since, I don't know, late March, 22nd of March. That's a downtrend. They've been in a downtrend since then. Okay, so there's the high anchored VWAP. We got to get up over this all-time high anchored VWAP. You see this? They have not closed a candle. They did close one. Any candles up here over this all-time high anchored VWAP. That's such a powerful indicator, showing you when money's coming in and when money's not coming into the market. Okay? That's such a powerful, that all-time high anchored VWAP, showing you when money's coming into the market. Okay, so now they did close one here, but you notice the very next day, okay, you got a bearish engulfing. Okay, after that, after that bearish engulfing, you haven't had anything close over the all-time high anchored VWAP. And that's not the all-time high, but it is the most recent high, I'm pretty sure. Maybe it is the all-time high. All right. Ever since that all-time high anchored VWAP. Yeah, that looks like it. Yeah, that is. All right. Ever since that all-time high anchored VWAP, I was thinking it got up higher a couple years ago. Guess not. All right. So ever since this all-time high anchored VWAP, we have not had any days closing over it. So there's IYT. Let's take a look at XLF. All right. Go back to the daily chart. All right, XLF in a downtrend. Why? Because we got lower highs and lower lows. Yesterday's price action, let me make sure. Right here, higher low, higher high. Notice we gapped up and just came right back to where we left off the day before. Okay, just pitiful price action. Or pitiful performance. Price action is not pitiful, but the performance of the XLF, gap up, big gap up, and then come all the way back to where we started. So gap up, got a higher low, higher high, closing underneath the bearish trap, underneath the 17 EMA. So let's just say we don't have financials in an uptrend. So they're working against us, okay? IYT starting to break the downtrend. Small caps and mid caps not working for us. Transport's not working for us. Financial's not working for us. I mean, we only got like 9 overweighted stocks, or excuse me, heavily weighted stocks in the FNGU that seem to be carrying this whole market. All right? If I didn't say it once, I just want to repeat it again so you guys understand it, that it doesn't matter what the other 2,000 do. It's those 10 or 9 in the so XLF in a downtrend. All right, so there's our sectors. Let's look at our economic calendar and wrap this up. All right, let's get up here. There's the dollar. We'll go to the calendar first. Where is it? Right there. Okay. Yesterday, CPI came out and kind of eased a little bit inflation. All right, a little bit of easing. We beat expectations. All right, so CPI it's not 2. I don't know if they're saying 2 and they got 3 in their mind, like, oh gosh, 3 is good. We'll take 3. We're not going to do anything with 3. Okay, they keep saying 2 is the target, but they're not doing anything to get to the target. All right, which is good. Okay, because we don't want them to do another rate hike, but inflation's kind of melting down, but at this rate, I mean, we're looking well into 2025 before we even get to their target. If we're only coming down 1/10 of a point and we're at 3.4 and we're only coming down 1/10 of a point every month, I mean, we got another 12 months before we reach their target. All right, and that puts us into 2025. So, got a long way to go if this is the velocity of inflation coming down before we get to their target. They did mention they got 3 rate cuts coming before the end of the year. I don't know. All right, I don't see it. All right, but I'll take it if they want to give us one. All right, today jobless claims at 8:30. PPI final demand, 8:30. Natural gas report, 10:30. All right, got a Fed speaker, and of course, every Thursday, 10:30, most every Thursday, we got a natural gas report at 10:30. All right. By the way, next week, June 19th, all right, in celebration of Independence Day, June 19th, okay, for some of our Americans, okay, that have history going back, we will be closed, all right, just so you know that, June 19th, the market is closed, okay, for Friday, all right, consumer sentiment, 10 o'clock, import-export prices, 8:30, rig count at 1, as always, Goolsby's going to speak. I think he's like penciled in every single Friday. Goolsby speaks at 2 p.m. whether he likes it or not. All right, so there's Friday, 2 o'clock. Goolsby's going to speak again. I remember him. He was like a regular on one of the shows I used to watch and listen to. And he was a commentator. So, anyways, that's it for the economic calendar. Max Payne for today, 545. Wow, that jumped up. Like it was only yesterday, it was 534. Put to call ratio, 1.45 puts. So 1.5 puts for every call. All right. That's regarding the options that expire today. So 1.5 puts for every call. And the Max Payne, oh, wait, not 545, it's 541. Okay, Max Payne is 541 today. All right, so, and we have 1.5 puts to every call. Okay, market was bullish yesterday. That's a big green candle. Even though we gapped up quite a bit, all right, you got to fill that gap in. We're looking for follow through. I think we get some late in the day. I think we get some follow through. All right, earnings calendar. What do we got? Adobe's going to report after the close. All right, $206 billion. Yesterday, Broadcom reported. All right, Broadcom about 2/3 of a trillion. There you go. There's the outlier. That's what caused the FNGU to spike right there. Broadcom. Guarantee that's probably what it is. I don't guarantee it, but I got a good hunch that Broadcom reporting good. 2/3 of a trillion dollars. That'll definitely move the FNGU. All right. And what else do we got? US dollar index. Oh, wait. Go back to earnings. Okay. 206 going to close after the close tonight. All right. After 4 p.m. Friday, really not much going on. Okay. Just some familiar names, but nothing that's going to move the market. Monday, all right, Lennar's going to report. They got A and B, so not really going to move the market around. But remember, it's in the housing sector. It should have an effect on the home builder sector. Okay, that's about 80 billion right there. Okay, Tuesday, nothing really happening here either. All right, so that's it for the earnings. So there's nothing to stand in the bulls' way if they want to go higher as far as earnings go, except for whoever comes out tonight, which is Adobe, 206 billion. But I think with whatever Broadcom came up with, I think Adobe could just fall to pieces and have a nuclear meltdown. And I don't think it would matter if Broadcom pushed the market that much higher early this morning. All right. And that's it for earnings. And now this is about the only thing that could stop us. And that's the US dollar index. All right. And we're moving in the right direction. Let me just say, when I woke up this morning, this was green. Okay. It was a bounce up and moving green back up towards the highs. Good news. We have reversed since we opened up this morning. That's going to be bullish. We may see a breakout maybe before noon. Maybe, just maybe before noon, we get a breakout. Because this is now moving back down towards the 200 SMA. This is 200 SMA right here. Okay. We're in an uptrend. And we're only in an uptrend because we broke those highs. But we got a tweezer top and a big breakdown candle. All right. Like to see some follow through on that breakdown candle. Doesn't look like I'm going to get it. But if they come down and consolidate right here, that would be a good thing. I'll take whatever that I can get. All right. So if they come down here and consolidate, that would be really nice for the bulls. I'm saying SPY 550. I think it's coming. I really think we're at where did we get today? Yesterday, 544. Okay, 540. We're only $6 away. All right, and there's nothing to stand in the way in the bulls as far as economic events. Nothing's really melting down or falling apart. So there's a possibility. SPY 550, maybe even higher, 560. We'll see. All right, I'll take 550 first. All right, so that's it, traders. I'll take questions in the room. Alan, thanks for posting, as always. Appreciate that. All right, take questions in the room. If there's no questions, I'm going to render my video. I want to thank everybody for hanging out with me this morning, and I'll be back on in 9:15, and we'll open up the market. I think we're going to get a pop again this morning with the dollar coming down. All right, so I'll take questions and then pull back before 550, Gilbert asks. I don't know. I think we get up to 550 and bounce away from it and consolidate. I think we'll probably consolidate right underneath it before breaking through. Okay, whether we pull back from here, I'm not so sure. Maybe, maybe not. Right now, we're bullishly consolidating in SPY. All right, so let's just look at it based on the 2-hour. We're just going to look at the 2-hour, Gilbert. All right, so here's a move up, consolidate to the right. Here's a move up, consolidate to the right. All right, and then you can see we just had this V-bottom bounce. I don't know. I don't know if we get a pullback before 550. Here's the Andrews pitchfork. You can see 550 doesn't really line up until 621. See that up there, 621. So maybe a gap fill and then a rally up to it. You could be right. You could be right. It's a good question, Gilbert. Right now, we're in a bullish flag. And we're headed back towards those highs. See that in the pre-market? See that dollar? That dollar coming down. We might get the breakout again this morning. Look at this, 543.72. All right, what did I say we were at? 544.05. Okay, this might be the follow-through we're looking for. We'll see. All right, traders, I'll see you guys in about 45 minutes.